Hello everybody. Today we're going to be creating Flappy Bird Part 2. So where we left off last time was we had just a basic ball that could be able to kind of fly, and it could collide with things. So now what we want to do now is we want to make it so when it collides with something that it will destruct. Okay, so we're going to get this method right here. Function did begin contact. So now in here, this should be called whenever the ball comes in contact with the pipe. So let's see if that happens. So, boom, contact. Okay. So first, let's add a few other things. So let's add if bird dot physics body dot is dot dynamic. So if it's not dynamic and we touch on the screen, we're going to, so here, let's set this to false, and this should make it so that the ball is not moving. Yep. So let's add a new var. Var is moving equals true, and let's go in here, shift that over. If is moving, then we can do that. So then we do in here is moving equals to true, and then first of all we want to, so this is going to be our first touch to start the game. So first we want to do self.spawn pipe row. They want the offset to be a self.random offset. And we also want to change the physics body dynamics of the bird equal to true, so the bird falls. And then we do bird dot physics body dot contact. Hold on, let's do this later. So when we first hit the bird, let's do bird dot physics body dot velocity and set that equal to CG vector make. So we want the bird to fly up. We want the bird, when we hit it, we want to fly up once we hit it first. So let's put a value of 175. And then do is moving equals true. And when we run this, see it, whoops, it's a little messed up now. So that should be false right now. So you know what, instead of making the new first pipe spawn at a random offset, let's just put 0 so it spawns right in the middle. And then we have to get rid of this right there. And then we do else if is moving. Then we can do this. Now we can run it. And there we go. So now it still doesn't do anything on contacts. So in did begin contact, we want to see if moving. We want to do is moving equals false. we want to set the bird physics body dot velocity equal to CG vector make 0 and 0. So then, to add this cool like falling effect when the bird dies, we're going to make all the pipes become non-dynamic. So we're just going to be able to call basically we're actually just going to take away their physics body. So then you'll see what this does. So when we hit it, it just falls right through the pipe. So you know what we should do? We should speed up the movement of the pipes. So let's go in here. So instead of having the moving speed at 1, we're going to just create a new var, moving speed float equal to 2.3. So then let's come back down here, moving speed. Let's just make it a little faster. There we go. That's better. So now I think we should add some images now. So first of all, let's create a new group, images, and Flappy images. Here are all my images. They'll be in the GitHub repository. So I'm just gonna drag all these in. Okay, so now to add the textures, you want to come into spawn pipe row function. So after here, so we want to do pipe bot dot texture equals sk texture image named bot pipe. We're going to do pipe top dot texture, the sk texture image named top pipe. So now this will make it, if we want to scale these images up and stuff, it'll make it all blurry and stuff. So what we want to do is type in pipe bot dot texture dot filtering mode is equal to sk texture filtering mode dot nearest. And I also want to do that for top. So now this should give us images for our pipes. Yep. Would you look at that? So now let's add in a background. Let's come up here, var ground 1. So we're going to need 2 backgrounds. So once a background, so one of the backgrounds can fit in one of these, and then we're going to have another background fit over here, so that the backgrounds they'll be able to like slide into like with each other. It's kind of confusing, but you'll see. So background 1, which is an sk sprite node, is equal to sk sprite node, and then background 2. Okay, so now in did move to view, let's add in background 1 is equal to SK sprite node with image named background. And the same thing with background 2. So then let's do background 1 dot position dot x is equal to view dot bounds dot size dot width times 0.5. Let's do background 2 dot position dot x is equal to view dot bounds dot size dot width times 1.5. And then background 1 dot position dot y is equal to view dot bounds dot size dot height times 0.5. And then this is going to be the same thing for background 2. So then we also want to do the texture filtering to the nearest. So that looks nice. So then this should bring us some, nope, just kidding. Oh, why couldn't it load it? So what I just realized is that instead of getting the actual image that I copied to here, I got in aliases of an image. So let's delete those two. Let's drag in these new two ones. And don't worry guys, you won't have this problem because you'll get the raw images. So here we go. Now we should be able to play it. It should still not work. Oh, you know why? Because we're not adding it to the scene. That would help. So let's do self.addChild. Nope, that's not add child. Of background 1. Self.addChild background 2. Now it should work. There we go. That's better. Okay. So now what we want to do is in our update method, we want to first let's add another boolean to see if the ground is moving. Because in the original Flappy Bird game, the ground moves even before the game is started. So the ground only stops moving when the bird dies. So if is ground moving, let's set this to true for now. I'll make it false later. Since the background moves slower than the rest of the pipes, let's do background 1 dot position dot x is minus equal to moving speed dot divided by 3. So it's going to be 3 times slower. Okay, so now if the background 1 dot position dot x is less than or equal to negative self dot view dot bounds dot size dot width divided by 2. Then we want to do background 1 dot position dot x equal to self dot view dot bounds dot size dot width times 1.5 minus 2, and minus 2 I just figured out. And we want to do the exact same thing with background 2. And once we run this, it should work. Background is moving slower than the pipes, and it's still moving. Let's change up the speed, make it 3. It seems the background image made it slower. There we go. Okay. So let's go in here. Let's do is ground moving equal to false too, so that the ground and the background will stop moving once we die. So now let's add a ground. Okay, so I'm just going to grab this. So we have ground 1, ground 2. So we're going to have ground 1 equal to this, ground 2 equal to this, which is basically what we did up here. And then we just want to set the filtering mode. And then we're going to set the width, the x's, and the y's. All right here. Now, I just wanted to copy this just so it'd be easier, and you wouldn't have to sit through all of my typing. So, ground 1 dot size dot width is equal to view dot bounds dot size dot width plus 2. Now the reason that is because the image is slightly larger and we don't want to stretch out the image. So then we're going to do this and this, which is basically the same as we did up here. And dot y is equal to this and this. So then with that out of the way, with the initializations, we want to add them to the container. So we're just going to do that. Now if we run it, we should just see ground. So now you notice that the ground is behind the pipes. So we don't want that. So what we want to do is we want to change the ground 1 dot position dot we just want to change the z position, which is how far in or out of the screen it is. So we want to set the z position so more is towards you and then less is like backwards. So we want to set that. And when we run it, we should feel better. Yep. Okay. So now in here, we want to make the ground to move. So I'm just going to copy all this code because it is practically the same exact code as the background stuff, except we're moving at the same speed as the pipes. We're not just dividing by 3. So it's the same code as this, except for this. So then when we run this, our ground is moving. See, it's 3 times as fast as the background. So our ground is moving, and our background is also moving. So then, as you can see, the pipes and the ground are moving at the same time. Okay, so one thing I want to add to this right here is that if the pipe, once the pipe gets off screen, or if it's off screen, we're going to remove the pipe from the array and from the scene so that it doesn't lag as bad. Oops, that was terrible. But you should really see no difference. I don't know why, but apparently, like, if you saw down here, the pipes, the bottom pipe would twitch. And the workaround for that would just be not to remove it from the index. Now, if you can see, the pipes stop twitching. So just, you don't have to remove it from the index. So now what we can add is, once the bird falls, that we can have it hit the ground and it can just lay on the ground. So let's come back to ground 1 and ground 2, and let's just add some physics to it. So let's just add these 4 lines of code right here. So we want to set the physics body equal to the rectangle size of the size of it. And we also want to set it dynamic equal to false so that the ground does not fall. Okay, so let's see if this works. Yep, it just lays around the ground. But as you could see, it kind of bounces on the ground. So the way to fix that would be, if it's not moving, we could just set the velocity equal to 0 once it first contacts the ground. As you can see, it just boom, stops. So now once the bird dies, we're going to add a few things. So what we want to do is we want to create, you know what, let's add scoring in first. We're going to add some scores. So let's do var score, make that an integer equal to 0. So then let's come down to update, and in here let's do if pipe dot position dot x plus pipe dot size dot width divided by 2, so that takes the center of the pipe. If that is less than self dot view dot bounds dot size dot width divided by 2, which is half of the screen. Okay, so now we do score plus plus. So now I know this isn't going to work like how we want it to. Now, first we need some way to display our score. So we're going to add a label, var score label, sk label is equal to sk label node font named system dash bold. So then let's come down here and initialize the label. So I don't need a semicolon there. So now in here, let's set the x position equal to 13, which is in the top left corner. Y position, since it's kind of backwards, the height, this is 500, whatever the max height is, right up here, and this is 0 down the bottom left. So when you take the maximum or the height, subtract 50 from it. Then we want to set the text equal to score is equal to 0. Then we want to set the horizontal alignment to left. And we want to make it hidden. So let's do self.add child of score label. So then it should add the score label, except it'll be hidden. So then in here, let's do score label dot hidden. It's not hidden. It's equal to false. Now we should be able to see our label once we tap the screen. Yep, there it is. So now we want to set the text of the label equal to our score. So we're going to do score label dot text is equal to score dot slash and then score. There we go. Now this I know isn't going to work. Yeah, as you can see, it's kind of bizarre. But the reason that is because it's taking every single pipe into account, even if it's already been scored. So a way we can counteract that is we can come down all the way down to our bottom of our original class, and we can create a new class, pipe, which is an SK sprite node. And in here we can add a few variables. Var, if it's the bottom pipe, since we only want to take the score from a bottom pipe. And then we also want to check if the point has been added. Okay, then we want to take that pipe class, go up here, change that to pipe, 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 pipe. We can also just delete this, that's a bit redundant. So then you want to come, nope, that should be good. Except, they haven't implemented that yet. We want to find main pipe, set that equal to new pipe. And so now, down in here, we can do pipe, is it pipe? Yeah, pipe dot is point. What do we call it? Let's just name it that. Oh, you know what we forgot to do? Change the array. The array has to be pipe. That has to be pipe. Where is it? Here it is. Pipe dot point added equals to true. And we also want to check if pipe dot is bottom and the point has not been added. Oh, pipe dot point added. Now they should work. They should work pretty good. Score is 0. Huh. It does not work. Oh, you know why? Because we're not setting a bottom pipe. So what we want to do is pipe out that is bottom equal to true. Now we have a bottom pipe. Now it should work. Boom. It works. So now what we can also do is we can add like an overlay so that when we die, the screen turns like kind of grayish. So let me grab this. So we want a var overlay of skSpriteNode equal to skSpriteNode. Then we want overlay. We want it to equal all of this. So overlay will equal skSpriteNode with a color of gray, a size of this, and a height of this. You know what we might be able to do is do self.view.bounds.size. That's better. So then we can set the overlay alpha equal to 0.7. And then we can set the z position equal to 11, which is one more than our ground, so it will cover up the ground. And then we can set the overlay.position.x. Oh, you know why we do this? Is because that the overlay, like 0, 0, is like in the center of the overlay, so we have to add the width divided by 2 and the height divided by 2. And then what we could also do, we could just do, so when we die, come in here, self.add child overlay. Run this. Boom. See, it sticks over everything. Okay. So then let's make it reset now, so we can start a new game. So if we do else, then we can do overlay dot remove from parent. So we can remove the overlay. Then we want to remove all the pipes. Then we can also just clear out the array. Dot remove all. And we don't need to keep the capacity. Set the score to 0. And we want to make the bird dot physics body dot dynamic equal to false. And we also want to set the bird dot position dot y, or just dot position, equal to CG point of x is equal to 150, y is equal to view dot bounds dot size dot height divided by 2 minus 10. And we can do a score label dot hidden is equal to true, and we can do ground, and we can do is ground moving equal to true. Okay. So when we die, tap it again, ground moving, the background's moving, and we can replay. And there you have it. That's pretty much Flappy Bird Remake. Pretty much. You can add a bird image if you'd like to make it more realistic. But other than that, it's pretty good Flappy Bird Remake. Thanks for watching.